Codependency no more. So I had to recognize what it was. I mean, I would hear about it and then I'd look it up and I'd be like, holy shit, man, I do those things. Some of those things. I mean, bam, bam. I mean, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of things I was doing that was like codependency. I didn't realize how much I was looking to others for my happiness.
Roll me, Mac.
What behaviors won't you tolerate in others? Okay, so I look at this from two separate lanes. Okay, people in general, and then a woman of interest. You know, there's two different lanes as far as like me being able to do what I believe is my duty to lead. And then as far as just everyday going, just having healthy boundaries, if that makes sense. I believe there is a certain way a man is to carry himself, and it requires a certain type of peace, a certain complement to his life in order for him to do said things. Okay, so let's go with the behaviors that I keep in mind that I just I won't tolerate, or do my best to not tolerate, rather. And I would say my day-to-day life. Number one, people who project, right? And what I mean by project are like somebody believing that their way is the right way. Like, yo, you gotta do this thing. You should live this way and you should go do this. And I'm not really a fan of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really a fan of somebody telling me what the fuck to do with my life. Not on some ego and like little kid shit. You can't tell me what to do. It's just, you know, I tune it out. Now, there are certain times where I will set a boundary with someone about that, but for the most part, it's just like, I know, I get the gist of what they're saying when they say you should do this. They're recommending this to me. But there's some people that are really forceful. Like, no, come watch this shit. All right, you gotta try this cake, or I'm like, nah, nigga, I'm on keto. I'm not touching this shit. But I will slide in a piece from time to time. Now, I'm not on strict keto as I once was, being honest. As far as like just projecting day-to-day stuff, you know what I'm saying? I can listen to you tell me about your life. You can tell me about who you worship. You can tell me about the things you do, all of that shit. But when you want me to do what you do, and it's not something I want to do, then I set a healthy boundary for myself, and I'm just like, yeah, I appreciate that. I'll keep that in mind, or something like that. That way I'm recognizing them without having them feeling dismissed. You know what I'm saying? Like to say that I yeah, I'm gonna do it. No, I don't want to. I don't want to say that. I want to agree to something that I don't want to do. I want my word to mean something, if that makes sense. So, projecting. Yes, projecting is a behavior I will not tolerate as well. Another one, feeling entitled to my attention, is another thing that I won't tolerate in anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if you don't call a person back fast enough, or you don't respond to a text message fast enough for somebody, and then they project their insecurity onto you without knowing what you have going on in your life, that's where it's like, is the juice really worth the squeeze to me to get into this conversation? Like, it's not, you don't know what I have going on in my life in order to be like, you know what? Fuck him. He didn't want to respond to me. You have no idea what's going on my end. It's not my place to just report to you because you decided to text me or what, you know what I'm saying? What have you. And I don't believe anybody is entitled to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that comes with boundaries too. I feel very strongly about that. Don't get me wrong. I for sure have in my life, I've gotten attached to someone and I really, really wanted to hear back from them. And I came up with shit in my head as to why that person wasn't responding to me. So I have empathy for people who do it. I just do my best to not have it happen to me, to where you now make your problems my problems. Your insecurity is now my problem because I didn't respond fast enough for you. And you don't respect my time. You believe everything revolves around you. And I'm not a fan of that. And that's for anybody. That's nothing, it ain't nothing personal. It's just, no, I don't believe that it's my duty to just report to you when you need it. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you get back to me is when you get back to me. We all got shit going on. That's my mentality when it comes to that. And I do my best to try to respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do my best to try to respect the fact that people have things going on in their lives and that they're not able to answer to my every whim. You know, like when I need something, you know, when I want to talk to them about something. And I had to learn that, you know, because I was, there were times where I would, just being honest, even with like my best friend, you know, I was like, you know, in my mind, he's not answering fast enough. And it's happened in reverse too, where he was like, you know, yo, what's up, man? You know, as far as like, you ain't hit me back or shit like that. And we worked it out. I believe we worked it out. And you know, we've been together for a long time. So there's an understanding that comes with that, where we may not respond for days at times. It's not personal. You know, I mean, if we feel like something's really going on, we're gonna call and say, yo, you all right? You okay? Type thing. But never call and be like, motherfucker, you ain't called me back, you know, unless it's been like obviously months or something. That's understandable. But for us, that, like, you know, there's just that love, and you just know that nothing anyone does. He hadn't done anything to me. I hadn't done anything to him. Don't get me wrong. I've definitely displayed some passive aggressive behavior in my day, for sure, especially with that, on that particular thing, you know, where I was out the proof point. I was out the proof point, indirect communication type thing. But I've also grown to a point where I just remove certain shit from my life. You know what I'm saying? Certain energy from my life, man. And some things don't garner a response, if that makes sense, you know. And you'll learn that as you get, as you go through life. You'll learn like what really garners a response. Like, do I really want to respond to that? Do I want to go to that level? Or I want to remain mature. And gotta be careful about going back inside a kindergarten class, because you're not gonna be able to tell who is who going far. You know, so projection, entitlement, and tearing down. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that shit. I don't being around people that feel some type of way about you, but not directly telling you, but they feel the need to tear you down in front of people. Or even by yourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just their thing. They like to tear people down. I'm not a fan of that shit, man. I've outgrown that. So there are certain things that I just won't be around. Now you with your boys and, you know, we ragging on each other. Like, you know, me and the fellas, you know, we fuck up on words all the time. I mentioned that before and on the show, like in text messaging, we'll type something and it'll be the wrong fucking word or some shit, and that will be the word. We just continue to use that word until we forget about it. But as far as being around people that continuously want to put you down to make themselves feel better, I'm not a fan of that shit. That's something I won't tolerate from anyone. Friends, family, even coworkers. I will remove myself. You know, I'll set the boundary. And if I know your personality is not mature enough to have that conversation and respect that, then I'll just remove myself from it. It's much easier to do. The peace will be protected at all times. That's another thing. So, you know, like projection, entitlement, and just removing yourself from people who like to tear you down. So projecting is, you know, pretty much people that project knowingly and unknowingly. Entitlement, people that tear people down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a fan of that shit. So when it comes to dating, okay, behaviors that won't be tolerated. Number one, of course, masculinity. There's only room for one with that. And I mean that shit in the most respectful way. It's nothing personal. It's just like it kills attraction all day long. When a woman, knowingly or unknowingly, because of life, I get it. I understand it. It's just not attractive. Period. You know, to me, it's nothing personal. I just don't find it to be attractive when a woman operates in her masculine and feels the need to do so. Aggression, masculinity, leave that to the guy. And as I say all the time, if I don't have that, then you need to find someone that does. But there's only space for one aggression, and it's a controlled aggression too, a controlled sense of masculinity, you know. Let's see, entitlement too, with that, a woman feeling entitled to your time, and that right there, I'm not a fan of either. In a sense of, don't get me wrong, like you develop a rapport and like you see each other, you know, I say pretty frequently or something like that. But when something comes up and you're not able to see them, and then it just like cause a whole either text message argument, which I've experienced in my life, or simply just ready to call you up and just tell you about yourself type thing, because they didn't get what they want. And it just goes to show that, for me, it is a signal, it's an unconscious assumption that you are more about yourself than what's important, than me getting my task done, than the purpose. You want to be in front of the purpose, and that's something that won't be tolerated. A woman that believes that she should be the focus of the relationship, situationship, dating, marriage, divorce, being their side piece, whatever the fuck the situation is. Like, a man must have the purpose before the woman, or he will lose both of you. And it makes sense later on down the line. And because it's tough. It's tough because we as men fall. We can fall unknowingly. And some of us can intentionally, fall. And once we do that, that little boy comes out. Unhealed parts of that little boy comes out, and it becomes unattractive. Yeah, there'll be love there, of course. But love without attraction is a prison sentence, in my opinion. Well, no matter how you slice it, love conquers all. I'll make a strong argument that sometimes love is not enough. You know, there's more that's involved with that, and for men, I say respect, and that brings me to my segue to my next point. Disrespectful, a woman that is disrespectful. A woman that tears men down, you know what I mean? Like, and then tears men down in front of other people. too. And will say wild and say compliment another man in a sexual manner in front of you. And I've witnessed this. You know, I've been complimented in front of another guy and his girl, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, there's a respect thing. I was like, I am certain that I would not want that to be my woman. I wouldn't want to engage with a woman who can do that. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't give a fuck if we're in front of Tom Cruise and it's the 90s, Brad Pitt and it's the 90s, Denzel Washington and it's the 90s, Shamar Moore and it's the 90s, I don't know, Chris Brown and it's now, and whoever else is, you know, considered handsome in entertainment, like people that we see on TV. Do not, I repeat, do not disrespect the man that you're with by complimenting another woman. And same for a man too, you know, to compliment a woman a certain way in front of the woman that you're with. You know, compliments are not mandatory, right? You can have thoughts on shit and not say a fucking thing. That is an option too. You know, you don't have to meet somebody and, oh man, you look fine as a bitch. You didn't have to say shit. You didn't have to say anything. That could have stayed in your mind. You did not have to release that. And other behaviors that won't be tolerated when it comes to dating women. Princess. The princess shit. Excessive neediness. Don't get me wrong, I believe I believe both men and women have needs. You know what I'm saying? I'd go fair to say that a woman who feels really safe with a man, close, whether that be falling in love, actually in love, or loves a man, part of her will turn into this 5-year-old little girl. You know, that's like with her, that feels safe with this man of masculinity. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there's parts of it that comes out. Now, what of that neediness, tantrums will not be tolerated, for sure. It's just understanding that, you know, we're both adults, so we have to choose. We got to choose our moods. We have to remember to choose our moods as far as like how we're going to be on certain things. You know what I mean? Like we're all responsible for that. And yeah, very imperfect world we live in. Yes, very true. But we still have to choose our moods, you know. And that's just something from a long-term standpoint, you know, like something that be like prolonged. I'm not a fan of that shit. That's not for me. In my opinion, that's just my mindset on that. I say operating, it's you know, just talking like a guy. Of course, you know, we've talked about this many times before. When a woman has an attraction for you, a strong attraction for you, they tend to talk a little high pitch. And for men, you know, that are really into a girl, they try to use deeper voice. I think of Theo whenever Denise's friends would come over the house on the Cosby Show, and he would be like, "Hello, I'm Theo." You know, with that deep ass voice. For those of us that remember, you know, the Cosby Show. Yeah, when the attraction comes about, man, yeah, like sometimes even the toughest woman will soften her blow. Just enough. Maybe not completely, but just enough. And that's a compliment, man. That's something to be valued, something to be cherished. But at the same time, you have a frame to uphold. And certain things you just have to keep a watchful eye on. You know what I mean? So that I believe it is the man's responsibility to maintain attraction and how it operates, you know. I mean, and maybe some get it, maybe some don't. But maintaining attraction is all in you as far as like how you manage a frame. And I don't believe that's something for a woman to understand. You know, and I mean this in a heterosexual sense of man talking with a woman. So there are certain things that you're gonna have to do. There's a certain way you're gonna have to hone in your emotions. And sometimes the women that you deal with that may not understand that. Yeah, the woman that you deal with may not understand that. But it makes sense in the long-term scheme of things, of like being able to manage those emotions, being able to manage her emotions, managing yours so that you do not project yourself onto her. And yes, guilty. Yes, very guilty of actually of doing that in the past. You know what I'm saying? I can say that. I can say that I've actually done that. I've lost my cool. You know, when I was supposed to hold my friend. So what that does what it does is create a distrust in your leadership. Even if the woman, you know, becomes almost unbearable, it's still on you. That is your responsibility. So when things do go south, accountability must be taken. So, you know what I'm saying? One or two things, you got to manage it or you got to remove yourself. That's how I see it when it comes to that. Another intolerable behavior when dealing with women is making everything about you. Solely about you. I believe you know what I mean by that. Like, you're sitting there, you're sitting there, you watch the TV, it's like your boy and his girl or some shit like that. And some girl comes on the TV, somebody makes a comment about her being attractive, and then that somehow becomes an argument. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't meant to be that deep of a compliment. It's just, you know, it's just talk, guy talk or whatever. No different than a woman seeing any of those attractive men that we mentioned earlier on the TV screen, and somebody says something about that. I mean, that's just, you know, you find them to be attractive and you look at them as like you're never gonna touch them, so they're, you know, it's entertainment. But to take offense, like, it's disrespectful to say that, you know, that type of shit. You know, I don't necessarily agree with that. I respect that woman's opinion on it. I just don't agree that it was meant in disrespect. You know, as far again, don't get me wrong. Some comments can be wild. There's some country club type, you know, Trump type country club comments that have been made about, you know, a woman or something. But just a general compliment like, oh man, you know, she's attractive, she's bad or whatever, you know, that type of thing. I don't foresee that to be like an issue. But you know what I'm saying? Like, a woman that tends to make everything about her, the entire scenario, you know, how she feels about this particular thing. That right there are some of the behaviors how I feel about day to day, you know, dealing with people, as well as behaviors of like what goes on, I would say, like when I'm involved with like a lady. What made you want to improve? What made me want to improve myself was the fact that I kept trying to be perfect, but for the ineffective reasons. I was chasing after love, right? I was trying to be perfect for everyone else, but instead of being perfect for me. And perfect for me comes with imperfections. But I just wanted to people please. I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't. I wanted to be whatever anybody else needed me to be. And if I couldn't do what that person wanted me to do, I felt bad. I would be down. I no longer cared about how I felt about things. I was trying to appease them. And what I learned in that whole scenario, that experience of all those years, let's call it 34 years of trying to be perfect for everyone, is that it's not enough. It's never enough. Because most people are focused on themselves. They're not really thinking about you. A lot of people are projecting their pain onto you when they shame you for not meeting their standards, for their expectations of you. But they have no intention on meeting your expectations. They just see you as a tool, an accessory in their life of achieving whatever it is they want to achieve. And I got to a point where I was I was done. I was defeated. I was truly defeated mentally when it came to just that, trying to appease everybody. So I decided to read, and as I started with that codependency book, Codependency No More. So I had to recognize what it was. I mean, I would hear about it, and then I'd look it up, and I'd be like, holy shit, man, I do those things. Some of those things. I mean, damn, man, I mean, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of things I was doing that was like codependency. I didn't realize how much I was looking to others for my happiness, making them responsible for me, things that I could actually do because that's what I saw done to me. Not because it was the right thing to do, not because it was the effective thing to do, but because it was programmed to do. And how many of us do shit that we've been programmed to do, but it's not necessarily effective for us? I can list 5 things right now that I doing that is not necessarily effective for me, but I've been programmed to do it. And one of those things is shutting down. Yeah. I can get into a mode about myself, and I can be honest with myself, is that when I feel like a cat in a corner, an alley cat in a corner, and I don't feel safe with the people that I'm around, I will shut down. Whether that's knowingly, unknowingly, whatever you want to call it. But that is my way of protecting myself. And it is not the most mature thing to do. This type, I'm aware. This is not the most mature thing to do, especially when talking things out. But how I see it, because of a lot of pent up emotion, saying what's on my mind at that particular time, yeah, there's venom. There's venom in these veins. There's venom in this mouth. That's what she said. And what can come out, man, could cut deep. Very, very much can cut deep. So I'll take the lesser of 2 evils and say nothing. What I love from Buddhism is that silence is the best response to anger. And not thinking very clearly, being too attached to an identity, too attached to your ego, and trying to respond to something. I have that unhealthy habit of doing so. A lot of times it's best to just separate yourself, to sit with yourself, let the emotions pass, and then reconvene later on with something. But I just wanted to make better decisions for myself. Fuck everybody else for once. But I wanted to make better decisions for myself. And if I can learn how to love myself, then maybe, just maybe, I can learn how to love others in a healthier way. And not so much what I had seen, what I had been taught. And I was taught a lot of survival ways of doing things. That isn't necessarily the most effective. That's another thing, you know what I said? Like, trying to live on survival is one of those 5s, you know what I'm saying? Like, that I can say is something that is ineffective. I live with the fact that often I live in survival mode. But I do my best to try to keep shit in-house, in home, and not to fuck with others. But you get close enough, there's enough toxicity to go around. Let's just say that. But I wanted to make better decisions. I wanted to learn I wanted to know the difference between my ego and the soul. Like the soul being the awareness, you know, the awareness behind everything that goes on, behind all the masks, behind all the ego, behind all the identities, all those things. I wanted to learn how to manage that. And I ran across Eckhart Tolle, I ran across Jordan Peterson, I ran across Brene Brown, I ran across Jocko Willink, a list of J.E.T.Sense, a list of people through COVID. COVID was a very pivotal time for many reasons, man. I got COVID, so my hypochondriac ass in my mind, I'm gonna die, right? I'm going to die in this apartment was my thoughts, you know, because you didn't know anything else about it. It's like, oh, you get it. Some people lived, some people didn't. But it gave me a different perspective as far as life goes. And I learned to not take things so serious, right? And it's easier when it's just you. But when you go back outside and you mingle with other people, sometimes you can pick up a disease that they're carrying, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Negativity is contagious, but also positivity is contagious. And you got to be very mindful of who you get in bed with, literally and figuratively. But negative energy, positive people, negative people, you want to be very mindful who you're around, man. Like, don't realize a lot of people are projecting their negative views on shit. They don't realize the impact that it has. So being very mindful of what you say, how you say it, and what it's going to do. How does it make that person feel? And I wanted to make a point to be intentional about how I made a person feel with the things that I say. And sometimes what I do, you know, like when it comes to sometimes with what you do, it's another person's interpretation. But what I say is take that for face value. You know exactly what I'm saying to you. Because you can misinterpret what I do. But as far as what I say, I do my best to be very intentional about that. So I just truly wanted to make better decisions for my life. I became a pushover. I've been walked all over, and no one cares, especially if you're a man. No one gives a fuck about what you're going through, what hurts you, what your feelings are. None of that shit. That's why it's important to have a brotherhood. They may rag on you too, but if they really fuck with you, they'll listen, man. They'll understand your feelings too. But for the most part, the world don't give a fuck about your feelings, man. So it can be very difficult. It can be very challenging. And I wanted to understand those feelings. I want to understand how I was feeling. I want to understand my triggers. I want to understand how to deal with said triggers, emotions, separating myself from them, all that. I was doing my best to kind of deal with that. And it's still a work in progress. But I picked up a lot. And what I learned is that when you understand something, you don't get as upset. So when something upsets you, try to understand it. If you understand it, it'll change your perspective on things. And if I learn how to do that for myself, then what that means, I'll be able to understand my fellow man or my fellow lady, you know? And I'd say a lot of growth has gone with that. I think the biggest thing for me was being okay with somebody being upset with you, especially if you haven't done anything and they're just projecting their pain. Because the previous downloaded version of me, let's say 2020 and back, I would have tried to fix whatever it is that you came to me with. today, I will analyze the fuck out of it. And if it's within my means, a viable reason to do it, then we can rectify the situation. But if you're just projecting your pain on somebody that actually cares, and you just think you're gonna get away with it, I'm gonna show you how I get down. You know, that's how I see it. I'm okay with being left alone. I'm okay with being left. I understand that a person is doing what was best for them. And that's just what it is, man. So I don't trip about that. But I just wanted to make better decisions. I think that's what made me want to improve myself. And I wanted to understand people. Black Socrates. I wanted to ask a lot of questions. I wanted to know what psychology even is. I've yet to go to school for it. I just enjoy it. I enjoy it the way the average sports fan loves their sport. I am a fan of psychology. I'm a fan of mental health. I'm an advocate for anyone, especially men, to get themselves checked out mentally. Figuring out what they've been through and how they project, what triggers them, what to do with the triggers, and realizing that nothing anyone does is about you, and it's just you versus you yesterday in this life. So when you get too attached and then you project your pain and your insecurities onto others, and you try to make somebody responsible for your happiness, being able to reel yourself back in so that the situation can be handled by you. It's not for them to do it. It is on you. That's taking accountability. But yeah, that's what I really wanted to do about, what made me want to improve myself. I really just want to make better decisions in life for myself. Not so much the right decisions, but just healthier and more effective decisions for my life. What's your favorite thing to grill? Right now, my favorite thing to grill really is, I really like to grill boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm obsessed with Panda Express's grilled chicken, from just keto shit, and I wanted to make my own. So, being able to have the boneless, skinless chicken thighs and just having them sauced up just nicely and letting that barbecue, as my boy Ashton would say, that barbecue sauce on it with that real nice coating. I really do like that. I started out doing ribs during COVID. That's the first thing I wanted to learn how to grill, and then burgers, dogs, all that shit, chicken and stuff. But for the most part, I'd say boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and just trying to make a healthier version of Panda Express's grilled chicken at the house. What happens when you as a masculine man retort to old beta conditioned ways? Well, lessons are taught. Lessons are taught, that's for sure. Be able to laugh at your ego. Understand you are not your ego. Once again, explain, the ego is this chair. It will get you through certain things. It will stand you up sometimes. It will not stand you up because you're sitting in it, but it will hold you up a lot of times. It protected you in a lot of things in your past, but you are not your ego. So, when me, as a man who prides himself on operating as masculine, retort back to beta ways, it's like, well, where did we lose control? Let's go back to that. What made us lose control here? Where did we find ourselves as that scared little boy that did not have protection again? What was it? What was that moment? And And you can have people desert you because of it, and that's okay. What you as a man have to do is continue to get better. Don't get bitter, get better, is what we say in the manosphere. And manosphere gets it's a terrible rap on a lot of things. I'm not a fan of a lot of the like the social media trendy shit, viral guys and stuff like that. What I'm talking about is a sense of masculinity and understanding what it means as far as leading the people around you. And it is challenging. Lord knows it is challenging, especially when you are around women that operate in their masculine, because you have to deal with both the masculine and the feminine energies in her, and then you got to deal with your feminine energies that come out sometimes when they bring out their masculine energy that triggers you. And I just believe it's not intentional on either side, but sometimes rams clash, and it's about learning how to manage those emotions that come up, but recognizing you are not the emotion. That is the kicker there. And so when I retort back to beta ways, when those moments do happen, and yes, they do happen, I do my best to not beat myself up about it, because old me wants to be perfect. Old me wants to be perfect for sure. And it's not required. You know what I mean? It's just progress. Progress is the focus. And for one to progress, one must go through challenges. One must be tested. And Lord knows that there is no test like being around a woman who operates in her masculine. There's just so many emotions being carried out. And it can sometimes trigger you. For sure. It can. It'll be at work or your personal life. Like those things become triggering. But I stand by it. The fact that you as the man are accountable. It is up for you to manage that. Manage or remove yourself. One of the two. That's how you deal with that. You just learn how to weather the storm to the best of your ability. Some storms are bigger than others. Okay? You have some that are just, an isolated thunderstorm, and then you got Hurricane Andrew come through, wipe out an entire fucking city. Homestead, 92. But there's lessons in it. So when you do catch yourself, the first thing is to laugh at yourself, right? And recognize that you are not the self. As mystical as that sounds. You are not the self. You are separate from it. But you carry out. Your spirit holds this body up, and you carry out certain things. You do actions. And you say words. But your spirit is the one carrying out things. Your ego can have you blinded. I'm a witness. Your ego can have you blinded a lot of times, and you can believe that there's this sense of self-importance. But, as I always like to say, let's take a trip out to space and look down and see how important you are. Not that important, man. And the thing with the ego, sometimes you can take yourself too fucking seriously. Yeah, you can take yourself too fucking seriously. You can take yourself too fucking serious. Whichever one it is, okay? Fuck it. Fucking spelling bee champs and people in the grammar police. You get what the fuck I'm saying. And yeah, sometimes you can take yourself too serious. So being able to laugh at yourself and get back on the horse. And whoever takes off, takes off. But you gotta get better. That's what men who operate in their masculine can do when they retort back to, ways that once where they were programmed by, because it happens. It certainly happens. And what you do is stay the course. You stay the course. You don't let petty things annoy you, as Earl Nightingale says to me every Monday when I listen to The Secret. The Strangest Secret. I listen to that every Monday. Every Monday morning when I wake up, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. You can Google that. You can YouTube that. Probably on Facebook. But I recommend that everybody listens to that at least once a week. Hell, you be bold enough to listen to it once a day. 30 minutes of your life and it'll change your life. But don't let petty things annoy you. And sometimes you can get off course. You can get caught up in routine. You get caught up in doing things that you used to do, your default mechanism, and then you display it. But there's certain calling for you. There's not room for error when it comes to being that of what I deem to be, I would say, a high value man. At least for my and there's different tiers for this shit. There's levels to this thing. But for the tier that I believe that I'm working in, there's very little room for error and just continuously making poor decisions for yourself. So it's being able to recognize those errors of judgment, error of ways, and then rectifying them as soon as possible. Because certain choices can have consequential damage to you, and sometimes even fatal. But being able to hone all that in, accept that you failed, but you're not a failure. It's all right to fail. And by that means you're trying. So continuously going forward. But when certain decisions are made and it costs you attraction, just deal with it. Just get better. That's all. It goes round and round. I assure you, it goes round and round. You listen to the song "That's Life." Frank Sinatra talks about, he's been up, he's been down, he's been over and out. And just that. Take on life. Fall. Fail as soon as possible so that you can learn how to be better, man. I would say I've had my fair share of failing throughout life. And by the time you think you got life figured out, life has already shifted. And it'll be time to learn a new lesson. So it's remaining a student. Do your best to remain to be a student throughout life. And not believing that you have everything figured out. Myself included. Sometimes the ego can take the wheel. You got a little Rome, which is part of your ego. But full ego can have the wheel sometimes. You got to make sure that the soul is steering the ship. Or we will crash. Hard. We're going to crash really hard. So when you retort to better ways, be honest with yourself, own it, accept it, and move forward. That's what I would say to that. For the times that I do it, times that I've done it, continue to move forward. Recognize that, you lost your cool. You let out the Hulk. I say it all the time. It's like, whenever that side of the alter ego comes out, especially from a mental health standpoint, when you get triggered, you lose. When you lose your cool, you lose. And you have to accept that. You have to be more mindful of your emotions. That is not masculine to me. When I lose my cool. No, that's me operating fully in my feminine and not knowing how to manage my emotions. So it just comes out in the closest, caretaker that I had, which was my mom, and learning from that, wanting to feel seen, heard, and loved. And it's a challenge. It certainly is a challenge, man, but I'm up for it. So continue to fail. With that being said, we're going to end this shit. So once again, my friend. My name is Romy Mack. This is Ask Rome. And we're done. I'm out. Good night, kids.